What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a quick look at the FansToys Iceman and Goose 2025 reissues of their versions of Air Raid and Skydive. So these are reissues, so they are the same figures that we got back in 2019 and 2020, but they've made some color changes. And I did a quick review on the FansToys Maverick, their version of Silverbolt. And it seemed like a lot of people had questions on differences. They really wanted to see them. So that's the main purpose of the review, is just to compare it with the originals. So we're going to bring those in. I did want to mention, though, I got these from Nick the Toy Guy. If you're interested, you can check the link in the description and you can pick it up from there. I also have coupon codes so you can get a discount on your order. But let's get started. Let's start off, and I actually forgot that this guy is 30B and this guy is 30C, but this guy came out first in the release schedule. So this is kind of strange. But anyway, let's take a look at this guy and compare him to the original. Then we'll take a look at this guy and compare him to the original. All right, there he is with the original 2019 release. And for the rest of the review, I'll put the original on the right and the reissue on the left. Also, I have the Autobot symbol on there, so you can tell the difference. But very subtle on this one. The red on the original is a metallic red. There's a fleck in there. Hopefully that's coming across on camera. Whereas the new reissue is just kind of a solid brick red. So slight difference there. No other real paint differences, mold differences. Everything is basically identical on these two figures. I'm not even going to transform it just because they are the same. But I will point out that things are much tighter on this. Things lock into place. I had issues with like the feet and the heels kind of, flopping around. On this one, it's much tighter. It might be just due to age, but this one, I always have floppy toes and heel spurs. And I can even tighten this screw, and eventually it does loosen up again. So I'm not sure what they've changed, but it does appear to be, tighter. Also, the feet, the forward and backward tilt is definitely tighter on this one. Tolerances are better. And in general, across the board, the tolerances and the outward movement on the thighs, all of that feels better and tighter on the new one. Not that it was horrible on this one, it just is improved. Other than that, there's really no difference between these. As far as the guns, here is the reissue and here's the original. And they are identical, same color, same mold, everything. And also the alternate face. Here's the original and here's the new one. Really no difference between these either. All right, and here is Iceman, the original and the reissue. And same thing on this one. The red is metallic on the original, and the reissue is a solid brick red. The white is also different, and hopefully it's coming across camera. The original is more of a bright white. It's kind of really white compared to the rest of the set. Whereas this one is now pearlescent, which matches the rest of the bots, the two arm bots, but also the color on Maverick. So I actually prefer that. I think I prefer the more pearlescent colors just because it matches better. Now, for me personally, I'm going to be putting this one in leg mode on Superion, and I did show that in the unboxing so you could see how it looks there. But I like the robot set to kind of look like they match better, and because of the red and the white they used on this one, I think this one goes better with the bot set, so I'm going to use it that way. But yeah, other than that, everything else pretty much the same. Again, tighter joints on the new one. The old one had a little bit of a loose joints there on the hips. No issue on the toes, but this sometimes would pop out, that panel right there. On the new one, the fitment is kind of perfect. Like it doesn't pop out. The outward movement on the thighs is nice and tight. Toes and arms, everything else is nice and tight. And I purposely configured them differently. The backpacks are the same, but I wanted to show you this option. I don't think I ever made a video on this, but you can configure the backpack to look like he has a mini jet on his backpack to match the cartoon better. So this is how it comes out of box. This is how they configure it. And I didn't touch it. I haven't changed anything other than I folded down these little pointy wing pieces. But this is a little more busy looking, at least in my opinion. I think this looks more like the cartoon, like he has a jet on his back. This just looks like kibble. So up to you, obviously, but I'm planning to configure it like this. I just want to show you the difference. Pretty easy to do. You just fold the upper wings underneath, and then you're connecting these two little tabs to the slots on this, and that ends up making a quote-unquote mini jet on the backpack. So yeah, that's really it for differences on these two. As far as the weapons, again, same thing. No differences on the gun. And as far as the alternate faces, no difference here either. So everything pretty much the same other than the colors I mentioned and the tightness of the joints. So final recommendations on the FansToys Iceman and Goose reissue. And I decided to bring the whole team in here just so you can take a look. But I'm going to give them the same score I gave them the first time, 4 out of 5. I'm going to recommend them. Really good figures in all 3 modes. I especially like how they look as a team together, the 5 of them. And that's the reason I bought them, is so I could have a robot mode set. Now, people have asked me, do I prefer the colors of the original or the colors of the reissues? So these 3 guys are the reissues. And like I mentioned, they changed the metallic red to a solid brick red. And then the white on him is pearlescent, and then the yellow on him is not metallic anymore. It's a bright yellow. Honestly, I don't think it matters. They both look good. But what I think FansToys should have done is stuck with one color set, right? If they're going to go with metallic red, do all 5 in metallic red, then come back and release a solid red or a slightly different white color and, you know, call it a version 2.0, whatever. But to change it midstream, I think, was kind of not the greatest idea, because now people that do want a matching set have to go back and get it. Now, to be fair, the difference in color is so minor. So here's that original. It's barely noticeable. If you ask somebody looking at it on a shelf, what's the difference? They would say that they're the same. But I know the difference. And if you're an aficionado of, you know, Transformers, then you probably know the difference. But it's very minor, you know, all in all. So it's not a big deal. My personal opinion is they should have stuck with a color. But either way, I'm really happy to be done. I'm done with Aerial Bots forever, done with Superion. I'm not buying any more just because this satisfies me. I'm happy with the way they look. By the way, I put all of their kind of yelling faces on, their alternate faces, and it looks really good together. So this is how I'm going to display it on my shelf. So I'm happy with the reissues. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Nick the Toy Guy for sending us for review. And we'll see you next time.